Hello, 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 hello. First off, I've got to make an apology. I am very sorry that I didn't come on post-match pint yesterday. I got held up somewhere and I couldn't make it home in time because I said there was going to be an update on this on that show. Now, I've tweeted it out to Twitter because I didn't want to leave everyone in suspense and just thinking I'm going to be dragging this out. But for anyone that didn't see the update on Twitter, I thought I'd come on here and explain because I know a lot of you were waiting, and the boys said they was waiting for you. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it was this. So on Saturday, on Tuesday, was doing a fan cam like we have been doing for the last 10 years, and we got a steward come over and eject us from site. So this was the video. I'm going to play it.
Really, by the time they get to win him.
Yeah, I can. We've filmed here for 10 years. Who? Mate, leave off. Leave off. Mate, we've been filming here 10 years. We've been here 10 years. 10 years. In the same spot every game. I'm finishing. Let me finish this and then I'll move out over there. Yeah?
No, let's take it over there now. We've got this on camera. Right,
mate,
we've been told to move.
That's ridiculous.
We've been told to move.
Right, so that was the video. If you didn't see it at all, I put it out on Twitter on the night of what had happened, and I asked if West Ham were trying to silence us. And the club did reach out. What happened was, right, if you wasn't here around for the explanation, we had a group of about 4 or 5 response officers come over and basically told us to leave. It's fine, you know, if that's what they want, that's what we did. But it seemed to be an odd timing. So I obviously asked a couple of questions. I asked for West Ham help. I asked the football club on Twitter. And this is the response I got. Now, I got contacted by someone high up in the club. I'm not going to mention their names until the investigation is finished. So I'm not going to mention the name yet. Listen, I will do in due course. And I will tell you exactly who it was. But I got an email saying, I've seen your video. Let me just reassure you that it wasn't West Ham that chucked you off. It was the London Stadium, and we will be investigating it. And and I just want you to know it's nothing to do with the club, which is fine, right? And I've got no reason to disbelieve it, right? So as I said, I've been filming there for 10 years. Apart from an incident or two, which was in the past, no troubles, right? The problem is that I've got is with the timing of it. It comes at a very fractious time for the club, and it comes at a time when there's protests against the owners, which is within people's rights, and I am part of the protests. And it comes at a time where they've just upheld a ban for a banner, which was a very inoffensive banner, but they say it's about it was about fire safety certificates. And listen, I'd like to see every fire safety certificate issued for every bit of paraphernalia that's been left on the seat. To be quite honest with you, what about when they hold up their big placards? I bet they ain't got fire safety stuff for them. But there we go. But this is the issue that I've got right now. As I said before, I've got no reason to disbelieve the club and the person that said that at the club. And they have promised me they'll investigate it. But this is what I want from the investigation. And this is what I think they should do now. All right. The problem is that I've seen is earlier on in that day, there was a woman walking around quite clearly in Man United clothing, which she's entitled to do around the stadium. Don't get me wrong. Filming on the same device that I was filming, which I assume is a mobile phone. If it ain't, then it's completely different because they should be, that is the stuff that should be banned, because if it's a proper recording equipment, they can ask you to stop recording. With a sign saying West Ham are shit and just basically fucking goading fans. And one of them ended up tipping a beer over her. And it's gone a bit viral. There's also fans all in the stand that are in their Manchester United tops. There was a whole row of in the home end, which is against health and safety regulations of the Premier League. Away fans shouldn't be in home ends. It's been said. It's on paper. So, listen, that's down to them. That's their nonsense, right? But that is the levels of security. I've also seen other influencers that was walking around the stadium filming, which I do know was professional recording equipment. They may have had permission. I don't know, right? But that's the problem with me, right? We got asked to leave. There's a woman walking around goading the West Ham fans that wasn't asked to leave, right? Now, as I said, I've got no reason to disbelieve the club, and I'm waiting for the results of the investigation. The problem I have is this: 10 years we've been doing that. There's London Stadium. No one was there for 10 years. They haven't just spotted me on the camera after 10 years. Something was changed that day. There was a problem with that day with filming. What it was, I want to hear, because when I asked them for an explanation, they wouldn't give me one. What they did say is that he's already been asked to leave, and if he wants to continue, let him continue, which seems to me like they were saying, let him continue because he's trespassing now. That's what I took it as. I took it as, a sign that I have to go, which I didn't resist. But I was questioning it on the way out. He then asked me for my ticket number, which I said, "Are you fucking joking?" And then he asked me for my name, and I said, "You can watch the videos." So this is what the problem is. I am a match-going, money-paying patron of that football club. I've been going there for a long, long time. They want to call me a customer. Let's call me a customer. If you had security running a store, let's take Asda's, for instance, and you've got people that have been going in there for 20 years, right? And all of a sudden, they're doing the same thing that they've been doing for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And the security that you rent the store. If this rented security then started throwing out your customers, what would you say? I would be outraged, because they are the people that come and pay your bills, more or less. They are the people that. So for me, saying it's the London Stadium is a bit of a cop out, right? Because I am there paying you the money. It's your responsibility to protect me, yeah, and make sure I'm having a good time and I can do, within the law, within reason, whatever I want, right? If a security guard then goes and chucks me out and they go, well, it's nothing to do with us, then stop renting the place, because they are, harassing your customers, which is harassment. I asked them for a reason why I was getting schooled out. I was given no reason. As I said, I've seen video upon video upon video all this week of other people not doing innocent stuff like we are, which is just giving opinions outside the stadium, actually goading West Ham fans into assault. Yeah, which, with a pinch of salt. Trespass is a civil matter. Yes, absolutely. But they can withhold a ban if I do trespass, which is a civil matter as well. So, listen, I don't know the ins and outs of the laws. I did not think it was an issue, right? But it's down to West Ham now to investigate why this is going down. It's down to West Ham to turn around and go, that ain't on, all right? I want an apology. And I don't want an apology for me. I don't really give a shit whether they apologise or not. But they are sticking, right? And this is the thing. It cannot have come at a worse time for them, because what I can do and what I will continue to do is I'll continue to press the matter. And every time I get an update or an answer, I will broadcast the answer to you. So you will all know the ins and outs of the details of everything that comes out of this investigation, because I want an apology from them, because I am their customer. That's what they want to call me. I'm a fan. I'm a hardcore fan, home and away every single week, right? They should apologize. They should find out what it was. People that made the decision to chuck us off there should be at least disciplined and made to explain the reasons, right? But I think I know the reasons. I think I know the reasons. So I wanted a full investigation about what's going on. And I want an apology. I want the club to come out publicly and say, it ain't on the way you treat our fans. You cannot treat our fans like this. We are completely sorry to Nicky Hawkins, the West Ham fan that got escorted off site for no reason. Now, I don't want that, really. But there are hundreds if not thousands of people that have had the same shit done to them every time. And the moment they publicly apologize to me, they are admitting that they are wrong for every single person that has been banned, every single person that's been taken from their seat, and every single person that has been refused entry to that stadium for no fucking reason. That is what I can do, because I can continue talking about this. In poor people that have, they are welcome to come on here. They can't get fucking answers. The club just shut the door on them. I can publicly broadcast what is going on with the issue that I have had personally. So whether it's West Ham or not, it's not my issue. That's down to them to sort out. But what I want them to do is publicly apologise and publicly say they was wrong for chucking me off site for a reason that wasn't given. Because once they do that, that gives basis for every single fan that has ever been chucked off that site to go back and say, I want a fucking apology. I want a public apology. Because that is what we demand. That is what we are due from this football club, who continue to stick their boot in every single fucking time they can, right? And by saying it ain't our fault, it's the London Stadium, they can do this, they can do that, that is shifting responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure I'm having a good time and I'm within the law and I'm following the rules, which I am. And I'm not just chucked out for nothing. And there are hundreds, and I said, if not thousands of people that have had exactly the same. There are people banned right now for holding a banner that they didn't have anything to fucking do with. It's about time the club start apologising for things. And I don't want the apology. They can get the London Stadium to apologise, but they have to take the fucking brunt of the responsibility. West Ham United, not the London Stadium. The London Stadium are working on what they are told to do, right? That message has come from somewhere. Someone has decided that I wasn't allowed to film there that night. Whether it's the club, whether it's the stadium, but it all comes down to the club. I will see what happens next week. I will continue to push this and I will continue to broadcast it to you, because it is my right. And it's not just my right, but it's everybody's right that's ever have been mistreated by this football club and trodden on by this football club, to demand the apology and to demand the justice that I'm going to pursue for everybody. Because that, I might get banned. I might step across the line. It is what it is. I'll still be there outside if I have to fucking stand outside and watch it, because my priority is the fans. We are allowed to say what we want about that football club. It is a freedom of speech. I will not give up. I will pursue it every step of the way, and I want to know every detail of that investigation. And I'm going to investigate. I'm going to broadcast it back to you, because it's now public. I think they've bitten off a bit more than they can chew. As I said before, there's no reason for me to disbelieve that they had nothing to do with it. There's no reason for me to disbelieve it. But now I want proof, because that's what we demand, and that's what we are due to. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to make my demands met in writing, and I'm going to demand a public apology across all of their platforms, including their website. And hopefully that will open the doors to everybody else that's ever had it. Because football is such a dictatorship across football, not just West Ham. But basically, you sign up for them tickets, and the fucking cost of you going in that stadium is they basically do and say what they fucking want. I've had a friend of mine on this channel that got his season ticket taken off him for the season for something that he didn't fucking do, proven in a court of law. But there we go. As I said, I will send my message back. I will send my message to the club. I'll go and do it in person. I'll film it. I'll film everything. I'll document everything, because the apology that I want will be for everybody. I don't even want the apology. I'll be there next year. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope I haven't bored you. And I hope that you understand. I wasn't on post-match point yesterday, but we will be discussing this again in due course. So let me get my stuff away. But thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for sharing it. Thank you very much for giving your opinion on it, because it's something very dear to my heart. Because, once I get treated like that personally, I have then got the evidence that I need to get the apology that everyone deserves. But there we go. Thank you very much. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons, but not in the London Stadium.